Naima, thank you so much for speaking to us. First of all, I'd really like to hear about some of the impacts that you're experiencing in Morocco from climate change.
Thank you for inviting me. The impact, as you know, for the whole Mediterranean region, and especially for North Africa, drought is severe drought, and also a diminution, a decrease in precipitations, and also some extreme events, especially in some specific areas, like in mountainous area, where it is associated to deforestations, and this is affect hugely the poor population.
And of course, you work for the Ministry of Environment in Morocco. What kinds of response measures are you taking to these challenges?
At the ministry, we are working on many scales. There is a team who is working on the strategy on climate change, and they are trying to link it to the strategy on sustainable development. And myself, I was involved in working on what we call development policy related to climate change. But before that, I had the opportunity to work on the field. So I worked with communities, with poor rural communities, and I launched some CBA projects, some community-based adaptation projects. That's why I am here. So it was an opportunity for me to share here what we did in terms of community-based adaptation. So in related to CBA, we have a dynamic team, UNDP, SGP, CBA team, and so far we developed up to 8 CBA projects. I mean, those 8 are formally with CBA, UNDP, but there are certainly other community-based adaptation activities. So, as I told you, with this impact increasing, community and civil society is moving, and many things are happening on the ground.
It's interesting that you have the perspective both from government and from working closely with local communities. Do you think the communication between them is effective? Do you think they're talking to each other and collaborating together effectively?
I will be honest and say I'm not happy with it, but I feel comfortable with some of the staff, because some of us are thinking that we need this relationship to be more effective and to be stronger than it is now. But I am very optimistic, because many things are happening now with some national programs, and I am sure that and confident that with those programs evolving, it will be possible to convince, because how to convince the hierarchy or those who are working on other priorities, it's when you show them success, and successes we do have. I can give you an example. For instance, one of our CBA was submitted by someone of the community, and it was retained as one of 25 successful or best practices in the world. So this is for me a success, especially that we expected before this prize Equator. We were expecting that this project will succeed, and we are working with the local commune, because at the local level you have some staff. We succeeded to involve them, and we are working together so as we might be able to replicate this project in the future.
And just finally, it's really interesting, what kinds of lessons do you think you'll take from this conference? What themes and lessons will you take from this conference to apply to your work?
Lessons, we are always learning. But what I am taking from here is this dynamic. When you meet people like you, people who are thinking the same way than you, it gives you more confidence, and you will come back home with more motivation, you see. In terms of practical lessons, we don't keep learning, especially for some specific activities to adapt. Some even for the approach, how to approach communities. Even if we had our self approach, when you come here, you pick up something. So it's always interesting, and many things that I cannot share in a simple interview, but I really learned a lot.
Naima, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you for your service and for your work.